The Group 3 Centenary Vase is next for us. 1,800 metres is the trip. It is run under handicap conditions as well. Time Warp heads the weights. Barrier 3, he'll roll forward. Vincent Ho in the saddle. Exultant, the Vase winner, Zach Purton, takes a big drop-in trip. Glorious Forever, drop-in trip as well. Of course, the Cup winner on International Day. He's the big pace angle along with Time Warp. Singapore Sling down the field behind Beauty Generation last time out. But the Classic Cup winner from last season. Insatiable, third over this trip at Happy Valley last time out. Horse of Fortune coming out of that same race as is last year's winner in Donoso. Much lighter weight on his back this time round. Jack Wong in the saddle. Romantic Touch and Horse of Fortune have both been up at Chung Fa within the last 30 days.
And we should get some good genuine tempo here with Glorious Forever been rolling, will be able to roll along in front. He drew gate 1 last start, Time Warp gate 10. This time he's in 5, Time Warp's in gate 3, so Time Warp could get first shot at the rail. Pingwu Spark there as well. We know he's been problematic round at the start, and Insatiable got a nice run in the January Cup and should do so again on Sunday.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that battle early evolves. You can see here Exultant. He's been actually quite keen in the mornings. I'm not sure if this is normal for him, just sort of with his head up and lips moving, but he's going along nicely. Obviously in great form at the moment for Tony Cruz. Glorious Forever as well is just getting better and better. The more we see of him, the better he's getting. Looks a real professional, almost fully furnished now, you'd think. The Cup winner going along nicely. And Singapore Sling, now you can see him in the morning too, just a little bit fidgety and so forth. He hasn't been to the races for a while. Head cocked to the side here. The same in his gallop on the 21st. First, he was a little bit like that in the mornings. 1,082 pounds. So Tony Millard has got him pretty much spot on body weight wise for his return to racing.
All right, let's start off then with the run at Happy Valley of Insatiable, Time Warp, Donoso and Horse of Fortune. Time Warp found the front but had to work to get there.
He certainly did, and he set them up with a fairly good clip in front. You can see Insatiable had a nice run through. That's simply brilliant about to strike the front. Good effort from Time Warp to stick with them. You can see Donoso and the gold cap out wider. He was making some ground last year's winner, and Horse of Fortune wasn't overly far away, but I thought there was plenty of merit in the run of Insatiable.
Yeah, there was merit in the run of Time Warp too, I think. Again, it's a different dynamic, isn't it, to International Day with this race, Group 3 handicap conditions, back to Sha Tin as opposed to the Valley there in that replay. So you can make a case for a few of them.
All right, OK, well, let's go back to Glorious Forever and see this performance on International Day. I think the race was won in the first 200 metres when he found the front and the rail, but I reckon Time Warp will make him work for it this time, for inside a lower gate.
I think that's potentially where the race will be decided, Andrew. At handicap conditions, as you say, that scramble early between these two, potentially even a horse like Romantic Touch. Exultant actually led a recent trial. We've seen him lead too. I think they might try and position him a little bit closer. You've got the big grey horse, Pingwu Spark, stepping up to 1,800 as well. So, interesting.
I don't think we've even got to the bottom yet of Glorious Forever. We might be close to getting to the bottom of him, but he's still got a lot of improvement to come as well. This trial, over 1,600 metres at Sha Tin, he tanked along throughout. It was just too good for them on this occasion. I think he's going to be far too good for them here. Yeah,
it was far from a high-class trial, but it's just the manner of the way he's galloping. He's just
very
in a great rhythm.
Yeah.
But it's just whether he can find that rhythm and how much pressure he gets on the lead. Yeah,
well, that's the other option. If they do get pressure, can he take the sit-in and then sort of finish off the back of it? If he can do that, that might add another string to his bow. And he may get a possible opportunity to do that here, because I get the feeling that, you know, everyone's aware with Time Warp and Glorious Forever, if they get the cosy lead, they're unbeatable. So maybe there'll be some cat-and-mouse tactics.
All right, and if there is a strong pace, it may well suit a horse like Exultant, who won over 1.5 miles last time out. Let's learn more about him with jockey Zach Purton.
Exultant, Zach. Big win in the Vase last time out. How's he been since then, do you think?
He's been good. You know, he's come through that run really well. He's had the 2 trials now, obviously on the dirt, over an unsuitable trip, but I thought he trialled well both times, and I think he can run well.
Back to 1,800 metres. Is he an out-and-out stayer, or are you confident with him over this sort of trip?
It depends on the circumstances of the race. If it's a genuinely run race and it becomes more of a staying test, it allows him to give himself a chance and get into the race, but it's definitely a distance that's short of his best.
He was racing well last season, but has he taken it to a new level, do you feel, this season?
Yeah, I think so. You know, when he first came to Hong Kong, he was doing a lot wrong in his races. He was wanting to over-race and carry on, and there was an emphasis put on him to try and get him to relax and settle, and we're able to do that. But because of that, he was getting a long way out of his races and was a bit one-paced and finding it hard to get into the races in the end, but making those early moves on him offset that and give him a chance to win a few races. And then this season he was racing much the same. We took the chance to go forward last time. Obviously that worked, but that was over 2400. He may not be able to do that over 1800. He's probably just going to have to find his spot and hope they go a good gallop.
One of those horses that could set a good gallop is Time Warp. You know him very well. You've got a good association with him. Was it your call, though, to stick with Exultant?
Yeah, it was. I just feel like Time Warp's probably not at his best at the moment. I know he was able to win that race this season, but that came off the back of some pretty poor form, and he just hasn't seemed to have gone on with it since then. I think he's at the crossroads a little bit, especially with these younger horses coming through.
For Group 3, it's a strong race with the Vars winner, your horse, taking on the Cup winner, Glorious Forever. Is he the one to beat?
Yeah, of course. He's taken himself to another level again this season. He's racing with a lot of confidence. He's going to be in the right spot. I'm sure he'll be hard to beat.
All right, Exultant, if it turns into a brawl, he's the sort of horse you want on your side, because he was headed there on International Day, 4 back to win.
He was, yeah, and I've actually sided that way, Andrew. I do think potentially there might be some cat and mouse going on early, and for that reason I think he might just outstay them. Let's not forget, of course, last year, in the early stages of the season, Exultant came out and ran that blistering race over 2,000 metres, and we all thought, oh, there's the Derby winner. He ran third in the Derby behind some very, very good horses, and has just continued to get better and better since then. Dark Dream did, of course, the same only a few weeks ago. So good signs for Dark Dream. I think Exultant can potentially get away with it.
OK, I'm happy to go with Glorious Forever. I think Singapore Sling could be the forgotten horse in the race. He did win a trial over Beauty Generation that he came out, we saw in that trial with Exultant. He was close up, but he was really tanking along.
Pinguis Sparks, interesting up in trip as well, but Exultant for you, Brett?
Yeah, I ended up siding with Exultant on top, Andrew, just from a tactical perspective. Glorious Forever, as Tom's highlighted, you know, he's not far away, I don't think, from the finished product, but there's still a lot to come from him. He's a really exciting horse. Time Warp's been there and done that. I thought he actually ran pretty well at the Valley with the weight. And Insatiable's got the good draw again and the low barrier, so it was hard to leave him out. 2, 3, 1 and 7. But there's a number of horses that could win it, I think, because of the setup of the race and the tactics.
Plenty of chances in the race, but I'll go with the 2.3 favourite at the moment. Glorious Forever on top for Frankie Law and Sylvester de Souza. I think Singapore Sling's a big chance. He's got the Shadow Roll coming off, Crossover Noseband coming off, Karis Teton riding Tony Millard. Exultant, he'll be there at Insatiable. I really like that run in the January Cup at Happy Valley. He's in good form at the moment for John Size and Joe Moreira. 3, 4, 2 and 7.
All right, Singapore Sling for me. I think the Classic Cup winner from last season will get the pace to suit here. I think Time Warp, Glorious Forever go hard to soften each other up. Singapore Sling over the top late.